guys, and welcome back to another episode of Federico Talks Watches. Today I'm answering your questions such as, with the Omega Snoopy, is Omega going the same way as Rolex? And what do I think about brands like Movado? All that and more in today's episode. But of course, before we get started, customary wristwatch check. Today I'm wearing my Breguet Marine. Absolutely love this bad boy. Haven't worn it in almost a month, and I really did miss it. Now, guys, of course, some very cool watches just made it onto DelReyWatch.com. We just got in another brand new Tudor limited edition Ed Sheeran, extremely rare, first one I've ever seen on a bracelet. That is on Del Rey Watch, extremely rare. The first two are no longer with us. This is the third one we've had. I can't believe we've had three. We have the Rolex Explorer 39mm, the discontinued model, stupidly by Rolex, but the 39 is available. And the Glasuta Panomatic Lunar, one of the best values in horology in today's market. All that and more at DelReyWatch.com. Link in the description below. Alright guys, well these are your questions which you asked me on Instagram. That's at Federico Talks Watches. When you see the Q&A picture, feel free to ask your questions there, and I'm gonna answer a few of them today. If I'm looking down, I'm not being rude, I'm just reading off the questions from the paper. First question from Gabe Lewis. He says, with another IWJG show coming up soon, what about the event are you most or least looking forward to? What brands and models are you most eager to buy in stock for Del Rey Watch? Well, Gabe, happy to answer this question. I don't think you'll expect my answer. For those that don't know, IWJG is the International Watch and Jewelry Guild, members-only organization that has shows and dealers kind of go and buy inventory. You may have seen it because a few other YouTubers, such as Roman Sharf and the Timepiece Gentleman, have kind of filmed at the shows in recent times. Actually, Gabe, even though Del Rey Watch and I are members of the IWJG shows suck. They totally suck. I haven't attended one in almost 2 years. It's a room full of dealers asking way too much money for their inventory. I mean, the margins are tiny. The only time I ever go to an IWJG show nowadays is if I'm either desperate for inventory because I've sold everything out, or if I have way too much money in my bank account, in which case some inventory is better than no inventory. I'm friends with a lot of IWJG guys, but if you ask them, ask Roman, ask those guys, they'll tell you, margins suck. I mean, it's very hard to buy watches there. People are asking top dollar. And it's, a lot of people do arbitrage, like sometimes the sellers from abroad have better margins, or if you have nothing better to do, you'll sit at an IWJG show all day. But the truth is, I get a lot of leads from Del Rey Watch. I'm able to buy watches over the counter. I'm able to sell them to my customers. There's no need for me to go. Not to mention, it's a massive security risk. Every IWJG show, especially in Miami, somebody gets robbed, either at gunpoint or their car gets broken into. I mean, honestly, I'd rather get a root canal than spend all day at an IWJG show. I'm sorry to take like the magic out of it. I was really excited the first few times I went, but nowadays with the internet, WhatsApp, having every dealer's personal number, I'd rather not go to a show, be scared of being held up at gunpoint, and then overpay for my inventory. IWJG, no thank you. Matt Wright 374, modular or integrated? Now, Matt, I think you're obviously talking about watch movements such as integrated chronographs or modular chronographs. Modulars where you take a movement like an ETA 2892 and you slap a module on it to make it a chronograph. Integrated was designed from the ground up to be a chronograph. I mean, obviously, if I could have my choice, I'd go integrated. It's obviously higher end. It was built to be that way from the beginning. There's some great modules out there. I mean, some very high-end watches are modular. A lot of the old Royal Oak Offshores were modular. I mean, the Dupuis de Prat module is used in a ton of movements, but I prefer integrated if I can have it. Next is my good friend Nidal Barake. He says, when are you launching your food channel on YouTube? Nidal, that's a trick question. Guys, I'm sure you've heard me talk about my second channel forever now. I'm actually going to launch a food and travel channel, a concept where I kind of fly around the world or even local, and I try very high-end and very inexpensive restaurants at the same time, and I compare and contrast. Now, this is a trick question because my friend Nidal lives with me in Miami, and we've actually already shot episode 1, and he is my guest host for it. However, I'm not releasing it yet. I still need some more content. One video doesn't make a YouTube channel. I'd like for it to be successful, so Nidal, you're going to have to be patient. I'm still working on the edit for episode 1. Next, Sugar Sean. Would you do the Tag Pepsi or the Tudor Pepsi? Tudor Pepsi, 100%. Actually, I'm considering a Tudor Pepsi as a travel watch for my personal collection. I know it's fashionable to hate on Tag Heuer, and I'm a little bit of a hater of Tag Heuer, but I do love their Carreras. I love their Monacos. They're doing a lot of interesting stuff nowadays, but the Aqua Racer line, nah, not even if you gave it to me for free. Tudor Pepsi, it looks like they worked out the kinks. I think it's a handsome watch, holds value decently well. It's got a little bit of history. Tudor all the way in this one. Hanzo6969. Hey Fed, what are your thoughts on brands such as Movado? Love the show, keep up the good work. Cheers. Hanzo, thank you so much. What do I think of Movado? It's shite. I mean, it's awful. Movado is a brand that has lost their way. Vintage Movado is excellent, but vintage Movado has nothing to do with current Movado. And there's a few brands that have done that lately. I mean, off the top of my head, Movado is definitely kind of the biggest one. They went from super high-end to not high-end at all. But essentially, Movado is not a watchmaker anymore. They're a designer. They design a watch, make it as cheaply as possible in China. I mean, I guess they may have a Swiss-made watch still. Quartz movements, nothing special. Get them 80% off at Macy's. Throw them down the toilet when you're finished. Respect for vintage Movado. Modern Movado, I'd rather not wear a watch. Sorry, but it's true. And then we got Joe Giz64. Your thoughts on the new Omega Snoopy? Nowhere to be found at ADs or Omega boutiques. Prices are crazy on Chrono 24. Are they using Rolex's playbook? Joe, they're absolutely using Rolex's playbook. The wait list is rumored to be about 5 years on a watch that's not limited edition at all. So Omega has not said they're limiting it to a certain number, but it's a 5-year wait list, which is exactly how the Daytona works. It's trading for slightly under the Daytona, double, triple retail. It's not limited. You can still kind of get it. Basically, what they're telling you is spend some money at the boutique, pay full price for watches you can get 30-40% off online. And, if you spend, a few $1,000s, probably 40, 50 grand, I will give you a Snoopy. It's Omega trying to go up market. It's 100% a play from Rolex's playbook. Obviously, it works. Look at Rolex. Business-wise, it's worked 100%. But yeah, those are not coming down anytime soon. Then last but not least, Marcus 111. What are your thoughts about De Bethune? De Bethune, I love them. They are an independent Swiss watch brand, super high-end, that make these Star Trek-looking watches. Just as high-end as FP Journe, but a lot more contemporary, a lot more avant-garde in their designs. You can either love them or hate them, but the watchmaking is great. Personally, the designs are a little far out there for me. There are not many I would wear, even though there are a couple. But man, how could you not love a brand that is so darn playful at such a price point? I mean, those guys, the owners of De Bethune, they love watches, for sure. Anyway, guys, that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching another episode of Federico Talks Watches. Please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. It really does help. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any more content. Thanks so much, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.